What's up, y'all? Naturegirl 30 here, and Hell in a Cell is come and gone, but I have a lot to talk about when it comes to this pay-per-view. Instead of doing the usual review when I go through the matches one by one and actually say my opinion for each one, I have decided to rank them from worst to best. Since it's 6 matches, it makes it a little easier for it to be evened out, so I have decided to make this into a little countdown. So, let's begin. This is my Hell in a Cell countdown review. Number 6 is Bobby Lashley versus Slappy, or Slapjack for you guys know. For you guys that are not to know, Retribution is pretty much a joke, and the fact that they lost against Bobby Lashley makes an even bigger joke, and the fact that you have Mustafa Ali, who happens to be the faction leader of Retribution, and he ran away like a chicken heel, makes him look like an even bigger joke. And then you have Mia Yim on the outside not having a clue what to do because she's the only female in the group since Mercedes Martinez actually left the group. So she's the only chick there and she can't really do anything because it's against a bunch of men. But either or, this match had no build. Nobody really cared about it. And it shouldn't have been on the card. And it made Retribution look worse than they already are. At number 5 is Jeff Hardy versus Elias. What can I say about this match? I like Elias as much as the next person, but the fact that they're going to stretch this feud out when it should have died a long time ago, you know, I didn't care much about this match. I really didn't. But Jeff Hardy made Elias look good. Elias is a great entertainer. He is the type of guy that is great in a pinch when you really do need to stretch stuff out. He's getting a little better as a wrestler, but let's be honest, Jeff Hardy kind of made him look good here. But this match really didn't have much of a build. It didn't really have any significance, and let's be honest, it's a bathroom break. So that's why it's at number 5. I'm going to get a lot of heat for this. I don't know, whoever watched this video, but I don't care. This is my list, and this is how I personally feel about this match. At number 4, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. This main event fell really flat, and it was probably because of the opener as well as the match in the middle, and I'll be getting to that soon. But this was just boring. Not to mention, it was extremely predictable when they had this last. There's been talks about taking the belt off Drew and putting it on Randy because Randy's going to have the title when he faces Edge, probably that this year's coming up WrestleMania. So they're going to actually have a match for the title. So this was talked about for months. So this is something that we kind of knew, but we thought that somehow the creative team talked Vince into not doing it, but I guess he changed his mind on that too. So they took the belt off of Drew. Let's be honest, he's not going to have it for a while. Randy's going to hold it all the way to WrestleMania. But does Randy really need it? Does that match between him and Edge really need a title? Not really. Because to be honest with you, they've already cemented their legacies. They really don't need to have a match for the belt anymore. They got nothing more to prove. And unfortunately, Drew became champion at a very bad time. COVID kind of knocked the wind out of everybody's sails, especially his. He was the first champion from the UK. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to celebrate it with his brethren, which I don't think is fair. But other than that, I really wish they gave more of a chance on Drew and didn't take the belt off of him so quickly. But now we're seeing Randy Orton as champ. Woo! And now we're going to have to wait till WrestleMania until that belt disappears. Woo again. Yeah, I'm going to get a ton of heat for this too. But this match made me feel things, but not in a good way. Yep, at number 3, it is Otis versus The Miz for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Yeah, a lot of people, let's be honest, not that many people were so keen on having Otis even taking that briefcase in the first place. To be honest with you, he kind of earned it. In a way, it fell on his lap. Either or, they had plans at first of what he was doing with it. He was actually going to cash it in for the tag team championships, which would have been the first time anyone has ever done that. And a lot of people are expecting with the Money in the Bank briefcase, you're going to go to the highest belt and you're going to face the highest opponent and get the highest belt. I think I just said that. But either or, it doesn't really fit Otis's character. The fact is, he was all about his tag team. He was all about being blue collar. He was all about being a bro. Not a bro, but like a friend to Tucker. So Tucker's heel turn made 0 sense. Why? Because of what happened on Raw prior. The fact that he actually dressed up as a luchador, being El Gran Gordo, and actually helped him win a match. And the entire storyline, he did nothing but actually have his friends back, as well as being okay with him being with Mandy. It made no sense for him to go heel. None whatsoever. But they were trying to find a way to take the belt off. Well, not the belt, but the briefcase away from him without him looking bad. To be honest with you, it doesn't make him look bad. It's just sad. It really would have been nice for him to have a good cash in. It would have been nice for him to be the Heavy Machinery, to be tag team champions, because they deserve it. They've earned it. They've gotten there. And yeah, people are like, well, Otis, he's the main guy. He's the guy that everyone's looking for. Which is true. And that was pretty much because of his personality, and also the fact that he hooked up with Mandy. But we don't really see Mandy that often. It's more about Otis's personality. But he didn't really come off as hating on him. It just came out of the blue. Made no sense at all. And can somebody please tell me, when in the world did The Miz get so much clout to where he is able to move people from brand to brand, as well as having enough money to bribe JBL to actually get this match to happen? When did this ever happen? And since when has Johnny Mundo, yes, I'm calling him Johnny Mundo, I know he's John Morrison, but hey, he will always be Johnny Mundo to me from Lucha Underground. I like that guy. But regardless, when has John Morrison become a side guy to The Miz? When has that ever happened? Why is that happening? Can anybody explain that to me? Because that is something I am trying to figure out. Seriously. But other than that, this feud was pointless. The whole premise behind it was pointless. The fact that he literally took him to trial to take the briefcase off of him, this entire feud was stupid. But the fact that it actually made me angry more so than the other matches, that's why I have it up at number 3. Because I'm really kind of sad. I love Otis. I thought Otis was like the brightest star, the brightest light of the WWE, especially of SmackDown. I loved Otis. And it's a shame that Otis lost that briefcase and he won't have a chance to cash it in. It's a shame they didn't really take a chance with him and actually allow him to cash it in for the tag team championships. It would have been something different. It would have been something new. And it actually would have stayed true to who he really is. Okay, guys, we have finally reached our top 2. Now, you know exactly what the top 2 are going to be, because we pretty much said majority of the card. I'm trying not to make this a rant fest because there's a lot that really pissed me off about this match. But I'm going to talk about the good stuff too. You know what number 2 is. Number 2 is Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. This is definitely not number 1, and for a few reasons. And I'm going to go into the good first. This match had a tremendous amount of build with so much heart. It should have knocked it out the park. This match has so many stakes. It has so much emotion going into it. But then if they didn't have the match previously and they didn't put more heart in that match previously, then this match would have been way different. In my opinion, this should have led up to Hell in a Cell. They shouldn't have had a match before that. They should have had a match, I think it was at Clash of Champions. They shouldn't have had a match at Clash of Champions. If I'm wrong about the pay-per-view, leave it in the comments. But regardless, they should have had this leading up to Hell in a Cell, because this feud alone has so much build and so much heart behind it. You need to have a good blow off. And to be honest with you, Hell in a Cell matches lately, for the past, I don't know, maybe a few decades, have not been blow offs. It's been a while since we've honestly seen a Hell in a Cell match that has been a death nail to a feud. In my opinion, and this is just me, the last one that we honestly saw that was a death nail was Undertaker versus Brock. That was the one that I think ended the feud altogether. We haven't seen anything like that in a long time. This should have happened here. But they have plans for the Usos and Roman Reigns to become a Samoan Mafia type faction. I am looking forward to the Samoan Mafia. But it shouldn't have went in this way. To be honest with you, the one thing that kind of knocked us at number 2 was the constant interference that they have in these matches. When it comes to so many storylines that have built up so well, you have interference from the outside. You have people from gorilla position coming through, kind of knocking you out of the whole feel of the match. You have Jey Uso going there pleading for his brother to stop. And I know a lot of people, with all the reviews that I've seen, they soak this up. 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, to each his own opinion. But for me, that was no need for that. Now, when it comes to the Samoan dynasty, as well as Samoan heritage, from what I have seen and what they portrayed on television, it looks like the Samoan heritage, it has a lot of pride, as well as a lot of family love. If you know that your brother is going to fight for not only you, but his family too, don't you want to give him that moment? You already threw in the towel before and not let him finish and do what he had to do. How come you won't allow him to do what he has to do here? That's the one thing that bugged me about seeing Jimmy. Jimmy should not have been involved. It should have been a one-on-one all the way through. And then you got people from the gorilla positions trying to stop Roman from hurting Jey Uso in a Hell in a Cell match. If you're that scared that Roman Reigns is going to destroy Jey, then you would never have a Hell in a Cell match. And from every review that I have seen, I agree 100% with them. This should never have been a Hell in a Cell match. This should have been an I Quit match, and that's it. And I know the Hell in a Cell is a gimmick and all, but you already had your 2. You didn't need any more. You didn't need this to be Hell in a Cell. This match was not bad because of the wrestling. It was not bad because of the build. It was bad because of the constant interruptions that take you out of the match, as well as the diminishing heart, in my opinion, when you have so much interference. When you have Jimmy coming in there to stop the match. Oh, no, we're all family, man. And then you have the crocodile tears. I already had my own version that I called those things, but I'm going to be a bit PG here. They had the crocodile tears coming from Roman Reigns. A babyface move that I've ever seen one. When Roman Reigns has already cemented himself as a heel, you're going to have him cry crocodile tears, saying, oh, I don't know who I am anymore. We know who you are. You pretty much stated who you were when you came back, as well as the previous pay-per-view when you beat the crap out of Jey. Then you show what you would do for your family and to stay the Samoan chief. You did everything you did everything you could do to stay the tribal chief. You made that perfectly clear. You don't need to show this. You don't need to show any emotion. He need to be a bit cold-blooded because he straight up said, look, I love you, but this is my yard. I'm the tribal chief, and we know why I have to stay here. He made that clear. So the crocodile tears should have been shifted to Jey. I'm just saying. It should have been shifted to Jey. He should have been the one to cry. Because, I mean, shoot, he got his behind beat twice. Real bad, too. If you had him cry, it would have made more sense for him to cry than Roman. So, yeah, I was laughing. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. That was hilarious when I saw that. And it just took me out of the match. You're not supposed to have emotions here, even if they were fake. You've already cemented yourself as being a true blue, cold-blooded heel. And you've already cemented that. He didn't really need to have the crocodile tears. And it just really annoyed me, as well as made me laugh to where I was in tears. I never laughed so hard in a long time. But the build to this entire match reminded me far too much of Randy Orton versus Triple H. It was a huge build. Great build, only ending in a whimper. That's the sad part. But there may be better things yet to come when it comes to this whole outcome. I don't think it's going to be anything tragic. I just wish it had a better finish. And we knew what number 1 was going to be here, y'all. I'm sorry. Sasha versus Bayley blew the whole pay-per-view out of the water. This was the match of the night. I've heard people saying that this was like pretty much tied up between Roman versus Jey, or it was a contender for Roman versus Jey. Oh no, this blew Roman versus Jey out of the water and out of the park. Like, I'm sorry. They are number 1 because The build itself was pretty much over a decade worth of build. This had a really good payoff. The match was brutal. It had a really great pace all the way through. Sasha was the most vicious I've ever seen her. Pulling a Spider-Man, jumping on Bayley, back and forth. These two women were like in sync with the craziness of the kendo sticks from all the spots. Even the bank statement at the very end with the chair around Bayley's neck. This match was amazing. It was stellar. It had heart. It had emotion behind it. It was well paced. You saw the looks on these women's faces. This was great. This was 100% great. These women blew it out the water. And I'm happy that Sasha won, but I'm gonna admit here, I'm a little bit scared. Mainly because we all know that Sasha can't keep the title. She has a tendency to lose it every time she gets it. I'm just hoping she don't lose it to someone that shouldn't be there. Carmella. But anyway, the fact is that from what I've heard from my friend Prince, after seeing a chronicle, the Bayley Chronicle that they have on the network, it looks like that Bayley's probably going to be leaving for a while because she has a family situation. For those that haven't seen Chronicle, go ahead and watch it. But it looks like that she's going to be out tending to some family business for a while. So I wish her all the best when it comes to that. But since that Sasha actually is the boss again with the title, let's hope she keeps it. Well, y'all, that is my Hell in a Cell 2020 countdown review, ranking all of the matches from worst to best. What are your worst to best matches from Hell in a Cell 2020? I want to know in the comments below. That is how I feel, y'all, and I know I'm gonna probably get some heat for some of the choices that I made. But those are my choices. That's how I rank them, and I want to know how you rank them. So leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the pay-per-view. But other than that, y'all, I'm the Nature Girl 30, and I'm done here. Peace out.